Debating tonight on Super Prime Time with Ranjana Kumari, K Misra, Ajoy Bose, Aryama Sundaram. They are the citizen voices tonight, activists and journalists and lawyers. And on the other side, Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party, Brijesh Kalappa of the Congress, and Tathagata Roy of the BJP. Tathagata Roy, we say this again and again, the only Acchetin that has come now is for members of parliament, but you should have made a disclosure of this before the election. I mean, the number of things which bring Acchetin to politicians and member of parliaments is remarkable. But constant five-star luxury is something new, isn't it? Even by your and your government standards, you put up MPs in five-star accommodation. You have actually spent 25 crores sucked out of the exchequer for this purpose. I don't understand, Tathagat. Do you have any explanation, Tathagat Roy, for this?
It's perfectly understandable.
What?
No, I don't. I am not trying to explain. I am merely saying that it's perfectly understandable that MPs can be put up in a hotel, five-star or whatever.
No, why do they need to stay in a five-star hotel? Sorry.
No,
why do they need to stay in a five-star hotel? Because
precisely that is what I am saying.
Why don't they stay in the state government guest house?
Four-star if you insist. That
No, not four-star. They can stay at the state government guest house. They can stay elsewhere.
Yes, they could. As a matter of fact, the Urban Development Ministry, as a matter of fact,
but who runs the Urban Development Ministry?
Is saying exactly that.
Who runs the Urban Development Ministry?
The Urban Development Ministry.
Is it a BJP government's Urban Development Ministry? No, so why are you allowing five-star squatters to do this? No, why are you allowing this is utter hypocrisy.
Why were they put up in the first place?
No, yes, Ajoy Bose. Ajoy Bose comes into the debate. By the way, it's open debate. Yes, Ajoy. Ajoy da, please. Ajoy da.
No, I just want to ask a question.
Ajoy Bose.
Put up in a five-star hotel in the first place.
Yeah, why are they being put up in a five-star hotel in the first place? Interesting question.
Why are they being put in the first place?
Yeah, why?
Regardless of 1 day, 2 days, any days.
Yeah, why are they being put up in a five-star hotel for 11 months?
Every state
why
has a
five-star hotel? Why not a jhuggi? Why a five-star hotel? Why not a jhuggi jhopri colony? Let the parliament legislate on it.
Guest houses.
The MPs themselves are
you don't have to take
legislate on this. Why don't they do that?
Nobody is telling you this. You see, the fact is, and I think K Misra wants to come in. I think it's utter hypocrisy. I think it's utter hypocrisy of a central government, because central government projects itself as if it's on an austerity drive by barring officials from holding meetings at five-star hotels. So officials can't hold meetings at five-star hotels. And then it uses the exchequer to put 25 crore rupees for members of parliament who are squatting in a five-star hotel in the heart of Delhi. Then you tell us, what should we believe? As far as officials are concerned, they can't go to have a meeting in a five-star hotel, but MPs can live there. This doesn't make sense to me. K Misra, please, on five-star squatters.
No, I think
K Misra, please.
There is a problem with the Urban Development Ministry. So from the very beginning, in fact, I am witness to one interaction when I was sitting with the Urban Development Secretary, Mr. Agrawal. At that time, I got his call from the PA of then the Railway Minister was going to Australia, and he was desperately telling that my minister is going to Australia for that meeting in which he was Sherpa, and the minister who was ex-minister who was supposed to leave that place, he did not leave. So these people, when they come to Delhi, they think they have come to occupy a place which will be there for them forever. So that problem of these politicians thinking that public money is free. Ashoka is anyway a government hotel. I don't know whether Ashoka is being paid for also or that.
Of course it's being paid.
Not been paid 100 crores.
No, of course it's being paid. No, of course it's being paid almost 10,000 rupees a day.
9,000 rupees a day.
Almost 10,000 rupees a day.
BJP government is very rich then.
Yeah, of course it's very rich.
They don't have money for farmers. They don't have money for... You're very rich.
No, they are very rich. I don't understand this. Tathagata Roy, you have no money for farmers. Your minister in Haryana says farmers who commit suicide will get no help because they are cowards and criminals. And then your government in Haryana gives 20 lakh rupees to buy luxury cars to all MLAs, and in Delhi, the government of India has made Ashoka Hotel into a squatters club for as far as members of parliament is concerned. Brijesh Kalappa and Raghav Chadha want to come into the debate. Who goes first? Yes, Raghav. Raghav goes first. He raised his hand. Yes, Raghav. And on five-star squatters, please bring your tweets in. We'll carry your tweets on the program, please. Yes, Raghav.
while I fundamentally believe that a member of parliament whose assembly constituency is not situated in the national capital region of Delhi needs to be accommodated in Delhi in order to carry out his duties as a parliamentarian effectively, but the fact that certain members of parliament, these 30 odd members of parliament, in order to satisfy their lust for imperial fantasies and their fetish for living in these luxurious rooms of swanky hotels is nothing but public loot of the exchequer's money. It is your direct and indirect tax that you pay on a daily basis that these people have been looting. Let me make two very important points, Mr. Goswami. Number one, as per the rules of the Lok Sabha Housing Committee, rule number 3, if you go through it carefully, you will find that it says that members of parliament in this transit accommodation, until when they are given a proper accommodation in Lutein zone, they need to be kept either in a hostel or in a state guest house, the Maharashtra Bhavan, the Punjab Bhavan, the UP Bhavan, etc., the state guest houses. Nowhere does it say that they need to be accommodated in a hotel, number one. Number two, the housing committee chairperson, Mr. Meghwal, after this, the outcry by the media, have now issued a notice to all these MPs saying that they need to vacate this these rooms as soon as possible. But that notice also states that if your house is under repair or any sort of renovation work is going on in your house, you can continue to remain in these 5-star rooms. I don't understand that if a member of parliament today says that the light fixtures do not match my imperialistic taste, I should be entitled to live in a 5-star hotel like that of ITDC's Ashoka. Number two, they also don't understand that yes, when the 16th Lok Sabha was constituted, about 550 MPs were need to be accommodated to various locations, and at that point, even if they hired some hotels, it's fine. But now when almost all of them have been given houses, hostels are vacant, state bhavans are vacant, why don't these MPs are moved out of these 5-star hotels? They are burning the money.
Tathagata Roy, by the way, Tathagata Roy, 1 second. Tathagata Roy, lot of our viewers calling right now into the newsroom, very, very angry with your jhuggi jhopri comment which you just made. You are saying, oh, so you want MPs to say in jhuggi jhopris. Many of our viewers right now very angry with your comment, because I don't think any reasonable person, including any of us at times now myself, are talking about putting MPs in jhuggi jhopris.
Always claim that they...
No,
by the way,
you want to take that back?
They know real India because they come
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. My listeners got me wrong.
No, they didn't get you wrong.
I did not say that they were to be put in jhuggi jhopri colonies. What I said is, these are two extremes. 5-star hotels on the one hand and jhuggi jhopri colonies on the other.
Yes, and I'm glad, Mr. Tathagata Roy, I'm very glad that you understand this extreme, because I want to share something with you. Mr. Tathagata Roy, let me, 1 second, Tathagata Roy, you are supposed to represent the people. And repeatedly I'm making one point. I'm coming to Ranjana Kumari after Brijesh Kalappa and of course Aryama Sundaram. Sorry to keep you waiting. 1 second. I need to draw this contrast. This contrast is important. You said achhe din aayenge. Now, to highlight the absurdity of your decision to spend 25 crores in 11 months, which is either because of incompetence or indulgence, or maybe a mix of both, approximately 7.5 lakh rupees per day. Let me tell you, 16,600 homeless people continue to live on the streets of Delhi, while your members of parliament live for almost a year in a 5-star hotel. That is not achhe din, sir. It's not achhe din, at least for the people. Brijesh Kalappa comes into the debate. Ranjana Kumari after that. Yes, Brijesh Kalappa.
Yeah, Arnab, just to point out, Arnab, that insofar as a company called the Gujarat State Petroleum Corporation, you will not believe that this is a loss-making PSU, and that PSU incurred costs of nearly 570 crore only on providing hospitality, saris, liquor to various people in the last 2 or 3 years. And this was something which was revealed by our leader from Gujarat, Mr. Shakti Singh Goyal, right?
You confirm that?
What it has to do with MPs living in a hotel? What are you talking about, Brijesh?
In such a very fiery manner. And I must point out that, I heard Raghav Chadha speak in a very fiery manner. Perhaps he is not aware that Mr. Bhagwant Mann, who is an MP from the Aam Aadmi Party, was staying in a 5-star hotel till very recently. I must also point out that there's no member of the Indian National Congress ever in this list.
No, your
this is
facts are
another
wrong.
thing I'd like to point out.
Your facts
and the
are wrong.
third thing I'd like to point out is that in Haryana recently, there were, doles which were extended to MLAs to the extent of 60 lakh for home loans, 20 lakh for car loans, laptops. But you've just pointed out what the agriculture minister of Haryana had to say regarding farmers. It's a really sorry state of affairs, and this is something I'd like to point out, Arnab, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much also for speaking. I'd like to remind you that Renuka... One minute. Ranjana Kumari is coming into this. 1 second, please. By the way, I don't want to, it's not about balancing the whole thing, but I want to remind you to 2009 when SM Krishna and his deputy Shashi Tharoor were asked to vacate from the hotel suites where they stayed for a period of 3 months. I just wanted to point it out to you.
But
September
you
2009.
must also remember, Arnab.
Yeah, SM Krishna was saying...
Remember, Arnab,
SM Krishna was saying...
Their own sources.
1 second.
They paid from their own sources. They didn't expect the government to pay for them.
Yeah, but none of them revealed the cost of their stay and how they could afford it.
That was after media outcry.
No, and by the way,
If it came from illegal sources,
wait, listen to me.
Listen to illegal sources, it's been proved. Then
Listen to me, Brijesh, the issue was ostentatiousness at that point of time. You may pay for it. But it was also a point of time when Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee had asked for austerity within the government. He had to tick off both SM Krishna and Shashi Tharoor, because I think it is totally unfair and unfeeling
not give us lectures
to be living at an ITC Maurya in a in emperor style at a time when your government is carrying out austerity. That doesn't take away from the BJP, however. I think, Tathagata Roy, you should admit at this point of time into the debate that you have no answers, that you are sorry, or potentially that you have been cornered on this debate by the sheer hypocrisy of your party's position.
To admit. As a matter of fact, I don't understand what is there to debate about.
What is there to debate about?
I am trying to belabor the point that it is the MPs who can decide. Their housing committee can decide where they will stay. Let the housing committee decide that these people should move out of their five-star accommodation.
Sir, but the housing
committee decide that they are not entitled to five-star. Their housing committee
is constituted on the advice of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. It is your housing committee which is constituted on the advice of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister.
It is not our housing committee.
Chaired by Mr.
It is the parliamentarians' housing committee.
Have these politicians
across all party lines? Housing committee is not our housing committee.
Have these politicians, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second, please, 1 minute, a minute, please, stop squabbling on this issue. The issue is very clear. Ranjana and Aryama Sundaram coming to you, sorry to keep you waiting. The way I look upon this issue is, Ranjana, I'll just say one thing. The way I look upon this issue is, it is a question of where your conscience is. Now, do these politicians feel no sense of empathy for the people out there? When these MPs were being treated to a luxurious life, and by the way, I'm completely aware that there are many politicians who say, what's luxurious about Ashoka? Of course not. Maybe five-star hotels are not luxurious anymore for the average Indian politicians. But while they were happening, 1,074 homeless people died of extreme winters between June and November 2014, a duration when Delhi was under president's rule. In the same period, approximately during the winter period, 1,000 people died when Delhi was under president's rule. I'm only talking about empathy. 220 shelters were provided by government officials for the 1,000 homeless people living on the streets of Delhi. And these MPs have made these five-star hotels into basically transit rooms. They are not transit rooms. If this is the lifestyle they want, they ought to pay for it themselves. Ranjana Kumari. Yes, Ranjana and Aryama Sundaram. Yeah.
Yes, Arnab is shameful. You are expecting some kind of a sympathy and, some kind of a support. The same people from these jhuggi jhopris vote them to power. And now look at the way they are kind of, talking in a language. Should the MPs live in jhuggi jhopri? Of course, when you have to take vote, then you go to the same jhuggi jhopri. Are they human beings not? Are they not human beings who are living in those jhuggi jhopri?
Take your comment back.
Who is responsible
Apologize,
for
sir, Mr. Rai.
conditions in which so many people are living in jhuggi jhopris? It is you who is responsible.
Totally wrong.
Why have you created conditions? conditions for some people to live in subhuman life. And then you get support, and then you get support and come to power, and then you start living in five-star hotels and condemn them to live in jhuggi jhopri. What are you talking about? And also, who's paying for it?
I did not say that they ought to live in jhuggi jhopri.
I want to ask you,
I said that it's a gamut. On one side you've got five-star, on the other side you've got jhuggi jhopri. In between where they decide is to be decided by the parliamentarians themselves. Don't try to put words in my mouth, ma'am.
It is their money that is supporting your stay in these five-star hotels. It is taxpayers' money. It is money of people of India.
Absolutely.
Who are
So
paying for your stay in five-star hotels.
you tell the parliamentarians to wake up to their
Who are
duty.
you accountable to?
Listen to the urban development minister and go where they belong. They have been provided quarters.
Why don't you
Let
go and
them
stay
go
in
to
your
the
guest houses?
quarters. But do not put words in my mouth.
Please
Do
have
not say
patience.
things that I did
Have
not speak.
patience, because
I never said it. You listen to
political
me,
class-
ma'am. You
political
listen to me.
class
Do
is
not
letting
try
this
to put
country
words
down
in my
time
mouth.
and again.
I did not say
Time and
that.
again you are letting the people.
You said,
Nowhere in
Mr.
the world,
Tathagata Roy.
nowhere in the world elected
You
representatives
want to
Mr. Tathagata
without
Roy.
politics.
accommodation
You
at
want
the
to
cost
have a
of
country like
taxpayers' money.
Pakistan.
How
You want
can
to
you
have a system of government like Pakistan.
What kind of expectation do you have? Nowhere in the world elected representatives get accommodation at the cost of people's money. Why should you expect that to happen? Why should people pay for your stay? Why don't you organize? You organize your election by crores and crores of money.
If they represent people,
why don't you organize
and
your own
if they
stay?
do not have
Why
a
don't you go
house
and
in
stay
the
in guest
national
houses?
capital region,
Why don't you rent
they
a
ought
house
to
and
be
Yeah,
stay
but
there?
but
So
one
many
second.
people who
Gentlemen,
have
one
got
second.
employment in
Don't
Delhi,
keep on
they rent their
asking
house
this
and
why.
stay there. Why
Ask
don't you
this
do
to the
that?
parliamentarians because they
why do you
represent
expect
the
us to
people.
pay for you?
They can lay down
No,
their own
you
rules.
same jhuggi
Let them
jhopri
lay
people
down
have
You see,
their
one
own
by
rules.
one and bit by bit.
What are you talking
No,
about?
one by part and bit by bit, and I'm going to Aryama Sundaram. I really think, one second, for that jhuggi jhopri comment, one second, for that jhuggi jhopri comment, for that jhuggi jhopri comment, innumerable examples, Aryama Sundaram, have come up. One second, innumerable examples have come up where this government, which said that we are going to be Achhe Din government, Aam Aadmi government, I don't think they're doing enough. They have not changed the rules of the VVIP culture now. My question is very simple. This government, what's Aryama Sundaram, these issues are symbolic. Watch. These issues, there is a strong symbolism to these issues. Now, the government of India, Aryama Sundaram, does it have to wait 1 year before drawing the line and telling the members of parliament, please leave the five-star accommodation? 16th Lok Sabha announced on the 16th of May 2014. Today is the 8th of May 2015. I don't think there is any country in the world which is unlimited five-star say to members of parliament before they find their own house. And by the way, many of these MPs, Aryama Sundaram, before you come in, I'm sorry to come to you late, their basic argument is the houses are not good enough, we don't like the houses. Do this to the house, change the house, etc., etc. So it's expectations. Yes, Aryama Sundaram. Yeah.
Arnab, before
No. Tathagata Roy, Aryama Sundaram.
I think that is the...
Arnab, can I
Excuse
just...
me.
No, Aryama Sundaram, please, Tathagata Roy.
one question.
No, 1 second. Aryama
Excuse me, can
Sundaram.
I...
Brought up after 1 year.
Sir,
Look,
why do you...
we have heard so much of your shouting.
Aryama Tathagata Roy, you need to apologize for the jhuggi jhopri comment first, and Aryama Sundaram after that. You can respond after Aryama Sundaram. He's been waiting, sir. So Aryama Sundaram's been waiting for a long time. Aryama Sundaram, please. Yeah.
Arnab, I think the very pertinent issue here is exactly the way you put it. Why is it a year later we are having an issue like this going on now? I think we have to ask ourselves three fundamental questions. Number one, why is there not enough accommodation available for these people to move into? I have the answers also, which I will give after the questions.
Sure.
Number two, if alternate accommodation is not available, should we not then have some other alternative than a five-star hotel provided for? And number three, how are we going to deal with the people who deliberately misuse this factum of not having satisfactory accommodation? And I will tell you that the three questions are answered very simply if we look at it as there is accommodation in Delhi. Half the reason the accommodation is not made available to the people who today ought to be given that accommodation is people who are already there are staying over.
and they are not going out in time. Equally, a kind of renovation that you require, these are not houses which are taken on dilapidated houses, they are lovely houses. And the renovation you're talking about is a very minor renovation which needs to be done. The handover time ought not to be more than 30 days. The second is, every state has its guest houses. We used to have the olden days, we used to have the Western Court, Eastern Court. There are always other accommodation available. Why can that accommodation not be used? And thirdly, people who misuse this, either people who are no longer in office and who have to leave their quarters, or people who don't move into the quarters, penalize them. If a person who has lost his office and has to leave, does not leave after, let us say, 2 weeks after he lays down office, charge him 10 lakhs a month to continue staying there. Charge him the kind of realistic money. In which case, if he's going to be charged the 10 lakhs, you can afford to spend money on 5 other people to house them.
Yes, why not?
Now, this is the point. We don't do any of these because to do any of it is to upset the lawmaker, and why should the lawmaker make a law which is going to be against his own interest?
Precisely. I mean, you know, bottom line is, what is it but utter supporting of the VVIP Raj? The issue tonight is Maharaja culture. The Maharaja culture has crept India's political system once again, and Mr. Tathagata Roy, people expected this government to live up to its promise of ending the Maharaja culture. You are not only perpetuating it, you have strengthened it to limits which were totally unexpected from you. Our first caller, 1 second, is Puneet. Okay, RK Misra, briefly, RK Misra, briefly, then our first caller.
Actually, very clearly, very clearly, this is the hypocrisy. Same MPs, when they discuss about farmers, they shed crocodile tears. Oh, I know farmers, and they will go on a passenger train and unreserved compartment and shake hands with them, and then they will essentially live in 5-star hotels. They will go and sleep in somebody's house to show sympathy, but they cannot live in jhuggi jhopri.
Brijesh Kalappa, that is to you.
Stay in 5-star hotels.
Brijesh Kalappa, that is to you. Brijesh Kalappa, that is to you clearly.
All parties do this. All parties do this.
No, you can name the Congress
All
party.
parties do it.
You can name the Congress party. I'm not stopping you from naming the Congress party. Go clear, please. 1 second. I think Brijesh Kalappa should respond. Brijesh Kalappa, that reference is to you.
Somebody goes by metro and then comes
sorry, I couldn't hear what he said.
I will not take a big car.
He is saying tonight...
No, Kalappa, you should hear this. I am talking about all these politicians, they are hypocrites. They will go and have 5-star life, then to show
Mr.
and
Goswami.
fool people, they'll take a passenger train, go into a metro, go into a local train, sleep at a farmer's house or Dalit's house. This is all ridiculous hypocrisy, and that is why people hate politicians. That is why people think they are hypocrites and bunch of people who do not believe in what they say. And we just heard, if you don't stay in 5-star hotel, you have to stay in jhuggi jhopri. As if jhuggi jhopri is for people who are not human beings. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that was a terrible comment, because the choice is the choice. Once Brijesh Kalappa has a right to respond. Brijesh Kalappa, that is directly and pointedly at you. It comes from the president of the Navbharat Democratic Party, RK Misra, to the spokesperson of the Congress party. He says all politicians are hypocrites, and many people might support RK Misra on this subject tonight, especially in the context of 5-star squatters. Brijesh Kalappa, your 2-minute response at most. After that, my first caller. Yes, Brijesh, to RK Misra.
Yeah, Arnab, insofar as what Mr. Mishra is saying, of course, it's something which is condemnable if somebody is doing it as a mere, hypocritic exercise. But if somebody is, doing it genuinely to understand people's problems, if somebody has the means to live otherwise, but if somebody is going there, one doesn't travel incognito from some place in UP to Bombay without any media highlight, without the media knowing about it, without the media knowing about it. This happened not now. It happened 3 years ago, and it was later publicized. It was later publicized. So this was not something which was done, to be able to cobble media attention. But I don't know why Mr. Mishra had to make a comment on that now, because there is a genuine attempt. There is a genuine attempt to stay in a farmer's house, to stay in a Dalit house. If all these exercises are something which are hypocrisy.
No, Brijesh, first of all, 1 second. One second. I would lean towards Mr. Mishra on this one for the simple reason, if you look at the list of people who have been 5-star squatters, all parties are represented. All these party MPs have made Ashoka Hotel into their home.
I did not mean one party.
And my question is, Ajoy, my question is, why has this government not thrown them out? Why has it indulged them?
And I don't understand, Arnab, what is this logic of any member of parliament being allowed shelter in a five-star hotel when we know that there are all these elaborate state guest houses. Every state now has a massive guest house. They've expanded like mad. I don't understand what is the logic we can have of members of parliament being paid for in five-star hotels. There is no justification at all.
Well, it's been revealed.
Justify this.
No, it's been revealed tonight, and I've given innumerable examples of why it has happened. And Tathagata Roy, I request you to please apologize sincerely for your jhuggi jhopri comment. Because what your jhuggi jhopri comment revealed was, for the politician, anything short of a five-star hotel is a slum. I'm sorry.
My comment was not meant to run down. My comment was not meant to run down any jhuggi jhopri dweller. I was merely trying to point out the gamut of accommodation. On the one hand,
What do you mean gamut of accommodation?
Seven-star hotels. On the other hand, jhuggi jhopri. Is that a crime? I was trying to point out the gamut.
I have a question.
Ranjana Kumari has a counter to you. Ranjana Kumari.
Mr. Roy, you are making a
They have tried to twist my words and put words in my mouth, which I absolutely don't accept, because I said nothing wrong. I said nothing wrong. I was merely trying to explain the gamut.
You were mocking jhuggi
if
jhopri.
some participant, if Ranjana ji wants to put words
Sir, I'm
in
only
my
pointing.
mouth,
So one
that
second.
is her
One second.
choice.
Sir, I want to tell you. One second. I want to tell you. Tathagata Roy, have a heart tonight. One second. Tathagata Roy, have a heart tonight. One second. According
try to put words in your mouth.
No, Ranjana Kumari, I want to share one fact tonight. No, I want these MPs.
Arnab, I just have a small question to him.
Yeah.
I just want to say there are two types of politicians that we are seeing these days. One type, of course, let's play poor. That means we are born so rich, we have never seen what poverty means. So let's experience retire, let's go to the poorest poor house. So that's one variety. The other variety is coming from that kind of a background, let's become imperial, let's become very, Maharajas. Let's experience what it is to be, years and years after, at the cost of people live in five-star hotels. So these are the kind of politicians who are emerging on our political horizon, and these are the people who make promises to do
So,
whatever,
ma'am, if you are trying to run down all kinds of politicians, if you think all politicians are bad, then what do you want in the place of politicians? You tell me the alternative. What do you want in place of politicians? What do you want? Tell me the alternative. Tell the audience the alternative.
We want politicians who are accountable.
What kind of animals are people politicians? How are they different from the politicians that we have?
The question goes, Aryama Sundaram. I want Aryama Sundaram to answer Tathagata Roy, Aryama Sundaram to counter you, please. 1 second. Aryama Sundaram wants to answer you. Aryama Sundaram, at one point, I just want to summarize what Tathagata Roy says.
I really think...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. I think you got it.
Arnab, I really believe that what we really require to do is to have a real idea how much accommodation is really available, because there is plenty of accommodation available. And why is this accommodation not being made available? And how much of this accommodation is overstaying people who are not leaving? And the fourth thing is, even the accommodation which is lying vacant, why is it lying vacant? What kind of great renovations are being done there? And fifthly, if you take into account every guest house of every state, if you take into guest house accommodation the government can otherwise give other than five-star hotels, there is plenty of accommodation. The reason is the accommodation which is available is being misused. It's being misused by people who are not leaving or it is being left vacant under the ostensible guise of renovation,
Mr. Goswami.
while people are really wasting public money for this.
Yeah,
and I think it's really required for the government to come out and say these are the accommodations
No, let me
available.
respond to
We
that.
have so many
I think Mr. Tathagata Roy,
if they come out with that figure, I think it will be very clear.
No, Tathagata Roy, you made
How
two,
this whole
you made
issue
Tathagata Roy, you made two unfortunate comments
let me
tonight.
respond to
No,
what
one
Mr.
second.
Aryama Sundaram was saying.
Ask Tathagata Roy to
No, I
apologize.
have
Tathagata Roy.
not made anything, said anything unfortunate. Let me respond. No, I have not done anything wrong. I have not said anything wrong, so I'm not going to take anything back. Let me respond to Mr.
Why will you
Aryama Sundaram.
accept? Whereas
I
ever a
happen to
politician
agree with
accepted
every
that I have
word
said
that
anything
Mr.
wrong?
Aryama Sundaram said.
When will politicians
What
say
I
anything wrong
don't see
anyway?
is I don't see the point of this debate.
You don't see the
This
point of this debate.
question-
Can I summarize for you the point of this debate? Tathagata Roy, 1 minute, please. Now I've heard you, sir. Now, with respect, sir, you're a very senior man, a senior politician, but I'm going to stop you at this point. If you say tonight, Tathagata Roy, 1 minute, Tathagata Roy, Mr. Ray, if only you would just hear out for a minute. I think there are three completely unacceptable comments you made tonight. The first comment is, where do you people expect you people to stay? If you're not in a five-star hotel, then in a jhuggi jhopri. You didn't apologize for that, right? Your second unfortunate comment, which you made after that, was what will you do if there are no politicians? 1 second, sir, let me complete my comment. What will you do if there are no politicians? Politicians are there, accept them. That is the way that they are, right? That is the second point you made. The third ridiculous comment you made, so I say this with the greatest of respect to you, sir. You say there is no point to this debate. I don't understand the point to this debate. I'll explain to you in one sentence the point of this debate. The point of this debate is very simple, sir. And to this, I'm telling the viewers, keep in your mind two contrasts. No, one second. To keep in your mind two contrasts. There's a member of parliament, 50% of the time he does no work. And he has a five-star hotel room to himself with a jacuzzi, swimming pool, etc., etc. He can have a good time there, bills up to 10,000 rupees a day. On the other hand, in the month of June, do you know how many people died of the heat? How many unidentified bodies were found in Delhi? 485. In the month of July, 364 people died because they were homeless and they could not withstand the sun. Some of them were old, homeless. In winter, in one particular month, 279 people died. This is only 80% of the unidentified dead bodies. So these are very poor people. I'm not even counting others who died because of their circumstances. I'm saying there are a lot of poor people. One second, Raghav, let me tell Mr. Tathagata Roy the point of this debate. On an average, Tathagata Roy, in the summer months, 10 to 15 people are dying because they have nowhere to stay. They can't stand the Delhi heat. On an average, 10 to 15 people a day. Now, you may say, what's the big deal? 15 people die because of heat in Delhi. They are homeless. Too bad for them. But my members of parliament must stay in the best government 5-star ITDC Ashoka hotel. Now, I think that is nothing short of disgraceful, Mr. Tathagata Roy. Because, you know, there is luxury for you on the other. And super luxury, I would say uber luxury by Indian standards. Allow me to complete.
Now,
1 second, sir. 1 minute, sir. Now you let me complete. Now you let me complete. Now what has happened, Mr. Tathagata Roy, is that for a long time in this country, for a long time in this country, the media of this country has not highlighted these issues and has only reported on the ribbon-cutting ceremonies of politicians. For years and decades, you've been very happy with the media. But tonight I'm going to go to the caller because you need to hear the caller tonight. My first caller is Captain Puneet Malhotra from New Delhi. Captain Malhotra, sorry to keep you waiting. Who would you like to speak to? Yes, go ahead. Hi. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Very good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
I would like to reiterate the same thing, perhaps what I've mentioned, before.
Yeah.
You know, what I understand, it has been a complete humiliation of a common man when we talk about MP, and they are being so arrogant. They forget that who has elected them. My personal perception goes this way, that all these member of parliaments should be first and foremost, their first qualification is to first see what a soldier faces on the border. They should be made to face a bloody bullet. First,
now, 1 second. So
they understand
one second.
the value of life, what it is for a common man or for a soldier for defense forces.
But I understand the point, but let's not stretch the argument, Captain Malhotra. I'll thank you for calling. Let's go to the next call. I have so many callers tonight on the line, and Tathagata Roy, you can take back your comment on that jhuggi jhopri comment, because you know what people are not saying that MP should stay in a jhuggi jhopri. People are simply saying that MPs need not stay for 1 year in a 5-star hotel. And by the way, Raghav, till we expose this, we're asking this question, till the media exposed this, nothing happened. They're now all going to be bundled out because it's been exposed in the media. You want to take I'll take the other caller. I'll let you answer to the other caller. Gandhi Ramakrishnan from Bengaluru is a software engineer. Yes. I have a lot of callers that they're lined up. Let's hear them. Yes, Mr. Ramakrishnan, are you there? Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Hi.
Hi. Good evening, Mr. Arnab.
Hi.
I'm watching this your greatest show, and I'm spending a lot of time to understand your debates, and I'm educated. A lot of things I'm understood,
Thank you.
But now I would like to raise a question. Mr. Modi, I heard about, if some MPs are not coming, he's keep calling and warning why you are not coming and all that, and then he's just monitoring. Why not he's asked where are they staying? Are there any rule? Like, if you take any company, if you go and stay in some travel, based on the grade, you should stay this much a climb. You can go for this range of hotel or something like that. Are they having any rules and something like that?
You want to answer? You want to answer, Tathagata Roy? Raghav Chadha, you wanted to answer, by the way, generally. Raghav wants to answer that. Yeah, go ahead, Raghav.
Yes.
Go ahead,
I'll
Raghav.
answer this.
Yeah.
No. While I completely agree with what Mr. Aryama Sundaram was saying, that yes, there are available rooms and different avenues of accommodation apart from 5-star hotels for these MPs. But of course, there is a point in his argument that the former members of parliament are extremely stubborn, and for their lust for this imperial fantasy, they're not vacating their houses. But let me say this, that the Bharatiya Janata Party, which came with such a big mandate, has the ability to rewrite the rules and has the ability to discard the legacy, the ostentatious legacy of the UPA. They can frame.
Ranjana Kumari.
Let me tell you, Mr. Goswami.
Ranjana Kumari is countering you. No, Ranjana Kumari, I'm allowing her.
All of us get just one second.
Ranjana Kumari, sorry Raghav, she's countering you. I'm allowing her. Ranjana Kumari. Ranjana Kumari, go ahead.
I think Mr. Chadha, talking like this sounds very good because you are giving holier than thou, but your party is in the same boat. I mean, how can you really be blaming? So I think that your party came with very big promise of alternative politics, but look at what you all are doing. Look at the way you are treating people. Look at even your party MP was in Ashoka Hotel. So what are you talking about? No, you are totally wrong when you try to sermonize on others. When it comes to yourself, then you also want the biggest bungalow for one of your ministers. You also want biggest bungalow for one of your ministers. You also are perpetuating VVIP.
What's wrong with what she's saying, Raghav? Raghav, she's made a point.
Had all those VVIPs, marks that car will go for VVIP from this side, common people will go from that side. What are you talking about, Mr. Chadha? It's very good to talk like that.
Arnab, one of their ministers has been caught with a forged degree.
Brijesh Kalappa also asking to counter, please. I'm allowing Brijesh Kalappa to Raghav Chadha. Brijesh Kalappa to Raghav Chadha. Brijesh, Ajoy Bose after that. Brijesh Kalappa. Brijesh Kalappa.
One of the ministers of the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, Arnab, has been caught with a forged degree. But Mr. Kejriwal is not willing to let him go. He's saying that, doesn't matter. He might have claimed a law degree, but he at least has a degree. And so he's keeping him. So what is the difference essentially between Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Modi, who has kept the Honorable Union HRD Minister in place? Despite giving a fake affidavit, he has kept Ms. Smriti Irani. Just like that, Mr. Jitendra Tomar has been kept by Arvind Kejriwal.
Hypocrisy. We are getting diverted with politicians accusing each other.
No, sir. The question is very simple. I think tonight, tonight, why is anger growing? 1 second. Tonight, why is anger growing? Anger is growing tonight because, all farmers across the country, entire north to west India, have been driven to desperation because of what has happened. And we find tonight, I'm sorry, but my problem tonight, Ajoy Bose, is that I find the contrast too striking with the way in which politicians are giving themselves freebies and gifts on the one side, and the way in which people are being forced to desperate suicide on the other. And I don't see any reason why politicians should be upset about asking questions.
And they keep
Ajoy Bose, after that,
fingers at each other.
Yes.
No, but Arnab, the problem is whenever you say this, they just point fingers at each other and bring in all kinds of extraneous issues. The point here is that we need to do something about this. The point is that why can't we have these rules looked at, and how can we allow
can I tell you
MPs who have no right to stay?
Can I
We
suggest
need
a
to
way? Can I
focus
suggest
on
a
the
way?
real issue.
No, can I suggest a way? I think the best punishment, punishment is for all those people who've stayed over 6 months, which should be a large number of people, should be made to pay for it.
To pay for it.
To pay for it. It's just totally unacceptable that we pay their bills in 5-star hotels while people are dying on the streets. Aryama Sundaram.
Make them pay for it.
Make them pay for it, I say.
Arnab,
Do you
you know,
support
one
that?
very telling
Aryama
thing.
Sundaram.
Arnab, you've said it. Make them pay for it.
Arnab,
That's what is.
Aryaman Sundaram.
This was the-
Tathagat after Aryaman Sundaram, please. Tathagat after Aryaman
They
Sundaram.
should pay for their hotel bill.
I agree with you. I say make them pay for
in
it.
fact,
Aryaman Sundaram.
Yeah.
This was, in fact, what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's not just the people who are staying somewhere when they have other accommodation, but for people who are overstaying their accommodation. A person whose office is over and who does not leave, let him pay 10 to 20 lakhs a month for that Latvian's bungalow where he continues staying, or in the government accommodation he's given. I mean, if it was anyone else renting it, that's the kind of money they'd have to pay. Let him pay for it. If he overstays, let him be paid a penal amount for it, and I agree with you. But what is really telling, Arnab, is that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Do you realize every time we talk about VVIP culture, do you realize the angry reactions which you get on the telephone from the citizen?
Absolutely.
And the sad fact is that there is a perception, there is a very strong perception that benefits are being greatly misused. And I'm sorry that where there is smoke, there is always fire. And the fact is that maybe a few people are misusing it, but there is misusing, and there is no action being taken to curb it. And even now, this has gone on for 1 year, and until all of you in the media exposed it, we were not even aware of it. And the moment one is aware of it, please see the anger. I only wish a lesson would be learned that you don't, maybe the next elections are 4 years away, and that's the problem. But people, all Indians, are getting so angry with this VVIP culture. And the reason for it is its misuse. And nobody wants to deny a member of parliament a basic comfort. Nobody wants to deny
Goswami,
that.
please,
but one objects to misuse of what is being given.
No. And by the way, I agree with you. The anger is growing. And can I share one other element with you? You talk to the politicians. I know many politicians who anonymously say, we won't go on record on it, but we don't really care what you people in the media are talking about. And the reason is because there is no impending election. These members of parliament know that if there was an election in the next 1 year, they'd behave themselves. But it's almost as if the party is on right now, Aryama Sundaram. A party at the expense of the taxpayer. Raghav Bell says loot. I would certainly say nothing short of that. We just take and grab whatever you can because you're a member of parliament. And Tathagata Roy, you need to hear the viewers tonight. Shifaz Muhammad is a project engineer. And he's our next caller. Where is he calling from? Shifaz Muhammad. You're calling from Bengaluru. A lot of calls from Bengaluru tonight. Good evening, Shifaz.
Hi, good evening, Arnab. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Arnab, the question is for all the respected politicians that we have on our show. My question is, every time I see my pay slip, a huge amount of tax is being deducted every month.
Yeah.
Now, when I hear this, that the money is being used or squandered, I would say squandered, because it's not for anybody's good. I mean, I don't know why these people are staying in 5-star hotels. I don't know if they really require that 5-star hotel stay, because we've heard our respected speakers say about a lot of accommodation being available. So my question precisely is that, is there a plan to use this money that we pay as a tax judiciously for the purpose of people? Because I today pay a EMI of my house. Even then I have to pay a tax amount.
Understood.
A lot of things that I do, in terms of, figuring out how the politicians
I understand,
pay
Shifaz.
5-star hotels.
No, Shifaz, I understand, which is why I'm saying tonight that, in fact, I really think that all those people who've squatted over 6 months, and I'm actually being very generous, should be made to pay back. Don't you support that, Shifaz? Don't you support that? Don't you want them to pay back the money? I
they
feel...
should pay back every penny.
Pay back the penny and symbolically give the money to somebody, build houses. I mean, 25 crore rupees may be very little money for these politicians. I can tell you can build 2,000 low-cost homes in that money.
Tell me about it, Arnab, because in my office, if we look at it, 200 people paying, they can buy their own homes with that 25 crores.
Exactly, and I'm saying and I know that low-cost houses can be made at 10 to 15 lakh rupees. Exactly. And you need to just divide 25 crores with 10 to 15 lakhs. And Mr. Tathagata Roy, you need to feel bad about it, because all those people, the 1,000, 2,000 people who died because of heat and summer in Delhi would not have died had they got homes. They don't need to stay in Ashoka Hotel. They can stay in a basic, they don't have a roof over their heads, sir.
And Mr. Goswami,
that is precisely the point, Arnab. That is why I said that
give them house rent allowance, give them HRA.
Because we are
and by the way, I'm sorry, other question is, when a defense officer comes to Delhi, Tathagata Roy, listen to me. Tathagata Roy, listen to me. When a defense officer comes to Delhi and he doesn't get a house, and most defense officers don't get homes in Delhi when they are posted there, they are said that here is your money, now go and find yourself a rent, put it on lease, we'll put it on government lease. Now tell me, simple question.
House rent allowance.
Yeah, so simple question goes, very basic question. How is today an MP more special than an army officer? How is an MP more special than an Air Force or a Navy officer or a police official? If they can take the money and go and rent a house and live like normal people, why do these people, MPs, not want to feel normal? Why do we need to treat them like walking, talking 21st day antediluvian Maharajas? Why? People are tired of it. Why can't they take the house rent allowance, go and find a house? There's enough accommodation available in Delhi.
And I know what it feels
Brijesh Kalappa
posted in a town and not get
so the army officers are also posted in a town, sir.
Absolutely correct. It is absolutely correct that they have no right to keep on living in the 7-star hotel.
But why are you pampering them? I want this pamper.
That's why I said there is no point in this debate.
Ajay Bose.
They should not be there in the first place.
Are MPs the only people who get transferred to Delhi? There are people who are in jobs which they go and rent a house.
Come on, it comes with a job.
I think
Mr. Tathagata look at the example all over the world. Look at the example of the
Mr. Ray
world.
should recommend to his party that they should ask these people to pay for it. Will he go and tell Mr. Venkaiah Naidu tomorrow this?
What I fail to see is how has this become the charge of my party? This is a thing which is cutting across my party lines. How has this thing become the charge of my party? Do the MPs, do the errand MPs belong only to my party? Answer that question. Why are you charging my party? Do all the errand MPs belong to my party? Or is this misbehavior cutting across party lines? That is the question.
Tomorrow. Ask this question in Parliament. Ask this question in Parliament tomorrow.
Absolutely.
The people who are overstaying, what should be done with them? Can you ask this? Can you ask this question?
I don't live in Delhi. If you are in Delhi, walk to the Parliament and tell me, please.
I think there's a great opportunity here. I think there's a great opportunity.
Can you ask this question in Parliament? What should be done with the overstaying politicians? Can you ask this question in Parliament? You are public representative and you are a good man. You have lived a simple life. And you are in a hot seat today, but can you do a good favor to yourself and
all
to
the
nation?
BJP MPs and tell them to raise it in Parliament.
Whole country was very angry. Can you ask this question?
And if Mr. Modi supports the action against the VVIP squatter MPs, then Aryama Sundaram, every citizen will support him. Here's a great opportunity, isn't it?
Support Mr. Modi.
Here's a great opportunity. I would say Mr. Modi should grab the opportunity.
I don't understand because
we understand
whole debate began with the minister of our party asking this very question.
No. You see,
why do you want to ask?
Why as a member of parliament?
Once again.
No.
Why as a member of parliament you cannot ask?
No, more and more I get a sense. No, Aryama Sundaram are rapping with
Why can't you
more and more.
Watch as a member of parliament?
K Misra, more and more I get a sense that the more things change, the more things stay the same as far as the political class is concerned. BJP using the same arguments that the Congress party used, Aryama Sundaram. That's really disappointing for people. Because, people saw the BJP as a party which is going to be disruptionist vis-a-vis the VVIP culture. You can't go completely populist before an election and say we will change things and then say, oh, what's the big deal? Why do you expect change to happen so soon? And Congress party did the same. Aryama Sundaram.
All promises forgotten.
Yes, Mr. Sundaram.
Arnab, that is the story of India's politics. We all have come to expect it, that we have these populist theories being floated as long as you're in the opposition. The moment you're in the ruling party, you do not it all changes. And yesterday's ruling party, which is today in the opposition, then starts these populist statements. Finally, I think it's left to us citizens. It's left to us to ask a simple question.
Ask in the parliament, frame them there.
Why does this kind of issue come up time and again?
Absolutely.
Why do these issues come up time and again? You, sir, are right here today with us. Will you please follow Mr. Mishra's suggestion and raise this question in Parliament and say everyone who has overstayed, let there be a penal clause by which they will be penalized with a huge amount of money every month. And let it be done through party lines. Are you willing to say it tomorrow?
Mr. Goswami.
No. I'm allowing Brijesh Kalappa 2 minutes into the debate. Tathagata Roy, you had your say. I'm allowing a counter from the Congress party. 1 second, I'm allowing a counter from the Congress party. I'm only saying tonight 2 simple things. Punish the MPs. Tell them it's okay. You overstayed over 6 months. Go take a loan. And if you don't have the money, take a loan. Or find the money. Feel the pain. Lose some money. Respect the taxpayer. We are not here to fund you. Take the HRA. I think the ministers should give HRA, let them find, from Janakpuri to Lajpat Nagar, there are enough places in Delhi where they will find a good house. 1 second, please. You want to come in, Brijesh Kalappa? I saw you raise your hand there. Yeah, go ahead. 2 minutes on the debate.
I want to come in, Arnab. I'd like to point out, Arnab, there are several chief ministers from the BJP, Arnab, who also retain their houses in Delhi because they were MPs earlier. Now they've gone as chief ministers to different states in across the country, and they still retain their accommodations. So, first of all, if the BJP wants to streamline things, the very first thing they have to find out is if a person is entitled to just one accommodation, he should stick to that. Where's the point of having 2, 3 accommodations
I think we've
and then denying somebody else his rightful share? And then on the other hand, pay the guy also to stay in a 5-star hotel.
I think we've also
because as it is, they're looking.
I think we've spoiled these MPs silly. I think they get very big houses. I don't think they have a right to choose. I think they should be made to pay. Absolutely. And I think it's a great opportunity for the government. We are actually offering the government different ideas every day to end the VVIP Raj. Now, with 282 MPs, 350 people supporting them, the government needs nobody's permission to act. Question everyone is asking, why does this government not act? And act on what is promised? Why do we need a status quo? Why don't things change? Wasn't this verdict about change? Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.